Hi, friends. How are y'all doing? How are you guys doing? All right. Let's see here. Yeah. There I am. A little yellow. Just a little yellow in this lighting. How are you guys doing? All right, let's see. Great, we're up, we're going. Let's talk about it. Quick transition back to winter after the really mild week we had. By the way, the pollen count for yesterday was over 500, which is the highest level since May of last year. I'm certainly feeling it today. That's the one good thing about all this rain. It's going to wash out the pollen. Last year, we didn't see pollen levels this high until mid-March, which is normal. So, it's going to be very rainy over the coming days, and we're already looking ahead to a chance for severe weather this weekend, and then much colder weather next week. Now, we've fallen into the 30s in East Georgia. Ooh, the wedge is here. 44 degrees in Atlanta. Yeah, we're going to have to update that high. This is pretty much where temperatures are going to hover through the rest of the day. It's really chilly out there. Is my clicker working? Is the clicker working? I might have to go back into the newsroom and get the clicker to work again. Oh boy. All right, guys, I got some of you guys. Wait right here. 12 seconds. BRB. Let's talk about it. Okay, the reason it's gotten so chilly is the wedge. This is a classic setup of the wedge. We're going to see it today and tomorrow. It's going to keep us chilly. It's going to be the reason that we don't see severe storms. So basically the wedge is when high pressure sets up in the northeast, winds around high pressure flow clockwise. So you have this wind coming in straight out of the northeast, bringing that chilly air in, and then it gets wedged, or cold air dammed up against the mountains, Appalachian Mountains, and it streams down into Georgia. That's what we're seeing now. It means East Georgia is usually a lot colder than West Georgia, and it can really cap our atmosphere, or basically stabilize our atmosphere. That's what we're going to see. So it's going to stay very rainy, but you can see the wedge. Look, high temperatures today only in the mid-40s to low 40s in northeast Georgia. Meanwhile, LaGrange hits 61 degrees. LaGrange usually is not impacted by the wedge. Thomaston 55, but most of us are going to be quite chilly. You can see that wedge is in place tomorrow as well. The southern fringe of our viewing area, Thomaston, LaGrange, going to hit 60 again. That's where we could see a few strong storms tomorrow, but generally, because it's going to stay so chilly, we will see very little severe weather. I wanted to give you a view of the whole entire system. It is a nasty mess. The D.C. area is going to get pounded with snow. In addition to that, so is the Midwest. Just to give you guys some perspective of snow totals, this is just through tomorrow. D.C., Annapolis, parts of the Chesapeake region are going to get 5 to 10 inches. Parts of the Great Lakes region, Kansas City up to the north, going to get 5 to 10 inches. So winter is coming back after the thaw we had. Here's a live look at downtown. You can't see anything. There's also some pretty dense fog out there. That fog's going to be with us through the day. That's classic wedge setup. It's just nasty outside, okay? Flood watch. That is my main concern over the coming 36 hours, 40 hours, really through Thursday morning is that we're going to see a significant amount of rain. Atlanta and areas north are under a flood watch. They may end up expanding this south because I'm seeing higher rainfall totals south of I-20. But right now, this is the region where we're the most concerned of quick rising creeks, streams, rivers, and I think the flood potential will be the worst tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. I don't think we're going to see much flooding today because we don't see the onset of the heavy rain until later today. So stopping the clock for you at 7 p.m. There's the pollen, man. Heavy rain falling in the mountains, northwest Georgia, still dry in metro Atlanta. So this afternoon, although it's going to be damp, it's not going to be super rainy in metro Atlanta. It's when you head to bed that heavy rain moves in. By 10 p.m., it's pouring down rain. It rains all night. We may see a little dry slot tomorrow morning for your commute, and then more heavy rain arrives around noon tomorrow. Essentially, from then on, it's basically a washout. A constant heavy rain all afternoon tomorrow, all evening tomorrow, and all night tomorrow, okay? So that's when the flash flood threat is going to be the highest. And we will dry out on Thursday. We actually dropped the first alert weather day for Thursday because by the time you're on the roads, it will be dry. If there's significant flooding, we'll probably extend the first alert weather day just through the morning commute on Thursday. Because even after the rain moves out, creeks and streams can continue to rise. So we'll have to watch that carefully. Here's the current forecast rainfall totals. This is why I think they might extend the flood watch further south is now areas like Carrollton, LaGrange, Coweta County, McDonough, South Metro, 3 to 4 inches of rain likely. That's the amount of rain that we get through the entire month of February that we're going to get in the next 48 hours, just to give you guys some perspective. Again, in terms of the severe weather outlook, the Mississippi Valley, parts of Alabama, warmer areas that aren't impacted by the wedge could see some strong storms with gusty winds. But again, because it's so chilly here, the atmosphere is stable. So there's a very small level 1 risk for maybe a strong storm with gusty winds. That will be tomorrow evening in West Georgia. That risk is very low, but it is present, okay? The risk for severe weather is much higher this weekend. So here's a look at the rain totals just to give you an idea. We'll dry out Thursday, Valentine's Day, only dry day through the end of the weekend. More showers on Saturday, and then Sunday morning is the day where I'm concerned about the potential for severe storms. So Friday afternoon, glorious, beautiful, upper 50s, perfect for Valentine's Day. Enjoy it. We see those showers move in on Saturday. Sunday, a more robust, stronger cold front, very kind of spring-like storm system going to move through. It looks like it will be in the very early morning hours of Sunday before sunrise. Our team is already talking about this. I spent close to an hour this morning looking at the severe weather indices. I'm not super impressed, but there's a lot of shear in the atmosphere, which is the rotation of winds with speed. And when you have a significant amount of shear, you really can get you can get brief spin up tornadoes, EF0s, EF1s. They don't sustain themselves well, but that will be a possibility overnight Saturday into Sunday. Essentially between, it looks like at this point, midnight to 7 a.m. Now, you guys know severe weather is always the worst in the afternoon with the heating of the day. That heating, like we've talked about, causes the instability, which causes the severe storms. But in the winter, when you have these systems that have enough shear, you really don't need the heat instability to get severe storms, so you can get overnight severe storms. That's a possibility on Sunday morning. By noon on Sunday, it's out. Temperatures will plummet through the day on Sunday. It will get cold, and we're in for a hard freeze Monday. And next week is looking really cold, guys, okay? So here's this weekend. Again, 60s on Saturday. Actually, when you wake up Saturday and through the day, it'll still be in the 40s. It'll be kind of chilly. And then temperatures will continue to climb. And by Saturday evening, it'll be in the 50s. And then by Saturday night, we're in the 60s. And then that is the heat that will be with us when this front comes through. So we'll be in the 60s as the front comes through early on Sunday morning, and then temperatures will start to drop. By midday on Sunday, it's in the 50s, it's gonna be windy, and then we get that hard freeze on Monday morning. And this is the temperature outlook for next week, February 16th through 20th. A quick shift back to cold for the eastern United States. It looks unseasonably cold, which means highs will be back in the low 50s, and I am expecting at least a couple nights with freezing temperatures. Looks like Friday morning, believe it or not, some parts of North Georgia could freeze briefly. Monday, hard freeze. Tuesday, a freeze. And then I'm seeing the potential for more cold at the end of next week. Now, our growing season technically has not started yet, but I'm seeing daffodils. Obviously, the pollen count's high, so a lot of these early kind of spring plants have already started blooming. Could mean bad news for us, okay? So here's the 7-day forecast. I know it's a lot to digest. That rain, heavy rain, arrives this tonight, continues overnight, okay? Then between noon tomorrow and 7 a.m. Thursday, it's going to rain constantly. So the flash flood threat will be the highest tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Very low risk for severe weather in the coming days. Very high risk for flooding in the coming days. Looking ahead to this weekend, a much higher chance for a few strong storms on Sunday. We're not going to hear a bunch of lightning. It's not going to be electric storms. But with the wind shear in the atmosphere, we could get a few spin-up tornadoes on Sunday morning. It's something that we're going to watch very closely, and I will be updating you guys throughout the week on that severe weather potential. And then look at next week. Highs only in the 40s again. It is going to get cold next week. All right? All right, y'all. 30 people watching. We love that. I will be back tomorrow with another, well, actually, I will be doing the noon show tomorrow. So Rodney will be doing weather where you are, but you can follow me on social media. I'll start to dig into the severe weather indices a little bit for this weekend. But just know tomorrow is a day where you need to watch for flooding. Stay warm, guys. It's going to be quite chilly. Winter is back. Hope you enjoyed those 70s while they lasted. See you tomorrow, 6 a.m. Atlanta News First.